Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Juan, your favorite marketer. And if you're new to the channel, first things first, I appreciate you for stopping by. You're going to be glad you did. Go ahead and hit that like button because, yes, this video is definitely going to pack a punch, a big punch, Mike Tyson style. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button so that way I can keep you updated because everything that we talk about on this channel is to help you elevate and live your absolute best in life, liberty, and of course, the pursuit of happiness. So quick video, guys, but as I mentioned, it's gonna pack a punch. And if you're broke, flat broke, or not where you want to be in your life financially, you definitely want to pay attention because I'm going to tell you how to remedy that problem and why you're in the situation that you're in. You got to understand, guys, everything about this life we live is actually really, really simple. We just make it complicated. And once you stop making your own life complicated, you can then and only then begin to live a life by design. So real quick, guys, why are you broke? The reason you're broke is because you're skeptical, right? I'm going to say that again. The reason you're broke is because you're skeptical about every single thing in life. That's why. And I know that sounds like kind of like a cliche, but one of the most important things you guys need to understand in life in general, guys, is that sometimes we need to be reminded, right, of certain things, because once we become reminded, we become more aware of what's going on inside and around us. And once we become more aware, we can begin only at that time actually to create quality habits, right? Because quality habits are what gives us a quality life. And that's really as simple as it gets, guys. There's really no other way to put it. So if you're having money problems in your life right now, or if you're not where you want to be financially, I want you to ask yourself this question, okay? Why are you so skeptical, right? Because you can't be skeptical and broke at the same time. I mean, you only can choose one. You got to choose one demon, guys. You can't be skeptical and then be broke. I constantly hear from people from all over the world, from entrepreneurs from here, from entrepreneurs from there, aspiring entrepreneurs, people who want to build a life for themselves, but they can't seem to take any action, right? I was on the phone with a young man yesterday from Texas. Hey, Juan, I asked him what his income goals were. This guy's, middle-aged, 45, 50, around that age, in Texas, truck driver. And I asked the gentleman, I said, what is it that you really want out of life? How much do you want to make? How much money do you want to make? And the number that he told me kind of surprised me. And the reason it surprised me is because he cannot get to that number. No way, no how, in the current profession that he's doing. This gentleman had mentioned to me that he's looking for additional ways to make money from home, but can't seem to take any action on anything. I like to call that analysis paralysis, to where you just constantly either being bombarded with information that you're seeking, or you're seeking tons and tons of information on a particular subject from multiple sources. And that's never really a good thing, depending on what it is. But let me get back to the point. So during this conversation I had with this gentleman, I tried to explain to him and impress upon him that no matter how hard he works, no matter how good of a person he is, no matter how good his heart is, no matter how much work he puts in for that particular company, he will never ever get to the figures that he absolutely desires. So one of my best pieces of advice to him, and one of my best pieces of advice to you, is you have to learn to drop your ego, right? Drop your ego, because the ego is what's skeptical. Right? I'm gonna say that again, guys. The ego is what's skeptical, not you. The ego is what's skeptical. And because the ego is skeptical, it runs 99% of your life. It won't allow you, okay, to escape your comfort zone, to get involved in something that can possibly or potentially bring you more income, so that way you can live a life by design, and you can truly live a life that you're passionate about. Not just a life, not just to be here and live just to exist. Too many people, way too many people now live that way, guys. It's 2020, guys. It's time to wake up. It's time to live a life by design. And one of the ways you do that is you engage in the free enterprise system that we have here in America. Yes, you become an entrepreneur. Because see, the truth is, guys, and I'm about to tell you guys something that a lot of people don't talk about. The truth is, you're already an entrepreneur, right? You're already making the big money. right? You're already all of these things. The biggest difference is all the wealth that you're currently creating is just going into somebody else's bank account, going into somebody else's register, right? Right? You guys get what I'm saying? You're already an entrepreneur, right? You see, everybody in your life, everybody around you is taking risk except you, right? If you're employed at a job, your job took a risk, right? By hiring you. They don't know you. So they took a risk by hiring you. And jobs, any job, anywhere in the world, any job, they all follow this same process. Somebody turns in an application, right? So you turn in your application or your resume or what have you, right? The job hires you. They say, you know what? They go over that information, which is not a lot. I mean, at the end of the day, what does a resume really tell about somebody, right? Not much, really. You won't really know that individual until you start working with that individual, until you get up close and personal with that individual, right? You won't know that individual really till you invite that individual over your home for dinner or for a cup of coffee or tea, right? The bottom line, and I really want you guys to understand this, everybody in your life has risked everything on you, but you won't risk anything on you. Isn't that amazing? And that's why you're broke. That's why you're not where you want to be financially, right? And for those of you that are watching me that currently make a so-called respectable income, well, what's a respectable income? See, one of the big turning points in my life is when I dropped my ego in my life, I 20x'd my income, and it happened really quick. It happened really quick because the ego was no longer in control. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for over a decade now, right? But when I was working in corporate America, I had an extremely respectable job. I was making a six-figure income, more than a six-figure income. So things were great. I thought I was sitting on top of the hills. I thought I had it all. Nobody can tell me anything. Nobody can say, hey, Juan, take a look at this, take a look at that. No, my answer was always the same. My response was always the same because the ego was really in control, right? And when the ego is in control, that's bad news. Just like it's bad news for anybody out there or most people out there that work a job, because you're not in control of anything. That can be taken away from you at any moment, at any time. So I don't care if you're making $5,000, $10,000, $50,000, $20,000 a month, whatever have you, that can be taken away from you at any time because it's the ego, right? It's the ego that manages all that, right? And when that particular individual or entity that you're around that gets tired of the ego, they get rid of you, right? Fire you, whatever you want to call it. The bottom line is you don't own anything in your life, in your current state, especially if you're working for somebody. So how do you increase your income? How do you go from the broke to creating an income that you can live or put yourself in a position where you can begin to live a life by design? It's real simple. It's really, really simple because you're already actually doing it. You just have to start doing it for yourself. You see, your job, your boss, everybody has placed a big bet on you, and you're the only one that doesn't know. They know you're amazing. That's why they hired you, right? They know you can do it. They know you can put in the work. That's why they hired you. They know that you can create wealth. That's why they hired you. But why aren't you doing it for yourself? Which is something that I would highly encourage you to do. But the only way that you're going to be able to do that is you must drop the ego, find some mentors, get around people that have what you want in life, get around people that are moving forward. And I'm not talking about your friends and family, right? I think we all know that support from the friends and family is becoming more and more scarce. I remember when I first got into this industry, my mentor told me, hey, Juan, your friends and family, they're going to be tough to really get these guys to buy anything from you, sign up with you, et cetera, et cetera. We've all heard the stories. Most of you watching this video have been through those same things. I didn't believe it at first, but I promise you it's the truth. Most of your money, most of your wealth creation will come from absolute strangers. And as a matter of fact, most of your support will come from strangers. So again, guys, I want you guys to ask yourself this. And if you're watching this, it doesn't matter if you're flat broke or if you're making $100,000 to $300,000 a year. None of that matters, because if you're doing that in corporate America anyway, you don't own it. It can be taken away from you at any time, period, right? But I want you to ask yourself this. If you were to go flat broke tomorrow, what would you do? Right? Think about that for a second. If you went flat broke tomorrow, what would you do? What will it mean to you? Would you be able to recoup from that from that heavy blow, from that heavy hit. A lot of people can't, guys. A lot of people can't. They get hit once and they're just about kind of done. Right? So with that said, guys, I hope this video brought you guys value. And just remember, okay, you're already amazing. Just drop the ego. Stop thinking that you know everything. I've made those mistakes before and it never got me anywhere. I made those mistakes. I thought I was the big baller, big boss. Nobody can tell me anything. I didn't want to take any advice from anybody. I used to have that mentality, right? The moment I destroyed the ego and decided to take life in my own hands, right? And follow someone or many individuals, actually, many mentors who have been absolutely a big influence in my life over the years, in other words, right? So it's all about having those good people in your life that you're able to follow. I'm not talking about your friends and family. I'm talking about really, really high quality people that are passionate about something, that are moving forward, people that are legacy builders, visionaries, etc., etc. Those are the types of people you have to get around. And if you don't have any of those types of people in your life right now, then that's another lie, because you're watching this video. So now I'm in your life, right? So now I'm your mentor, right? So I'm going to show you guys how to drop the ego. I'm going to teach you. You watch my videos, I promise you, I'm going to teach you guys how to get rid of the ego and create wealth, how to increase your wealth, right? But the only way that you can do that, again, guys, you can't be skeptical and broke at the same time. So with that said, make the day majestic. I'm going to end this video on that note. Make the day absolutely majestic. And remember, guys, drop the ego, get around people who are moving forward. See you guys at the bank.